And we're live. Welcome in. Halftime, I'm Tucker Bagley with Eliot Shorr-Parks, live from Lincoln Financial Field. And Eliot, a lot of stuff to break down in the first half. I think we probably start at the beginning. We got a first quarter touchdown. We got a first quarter point. I mean, everything that's happened since then, and we'll talk about, backwards hurdling and everything else. But I think we have to start at the top. And the offense finally put together a good drive to start the game.
Yeah, are the Eagles starting too fast? Is that going to be a problem now? They need to distribute their scoring throughout it. But no, I mean it was a obviously good start to the game. And here's what I'll say: just being down here too at the stadium, you can just feel the momentum from last week that it carried over into this week. I mean, they came out on fire. They played well. The defense, it's funny when the Eagles went up 7-0. I thought, well, that's enough points. Like the defense is playing that well, and it's a continuation of last week where they played really well. But outside of just that, before we get into more of the X's and O's and like breaking down what happened, just the vibe of this team is the best it's been in a long time. Like the vibe down here at the stadium. I've friends that are here texting me and saying like it feels like a party out there, and it hasn't felt that way for a long time. Think about coming off last time they were here, right? Was the Browns game, if I'm not mistaken. It
Yes.
was yeah. So the last time they were here, it was ugly. Sirianni got into it with the fans. Now look, they got the Kelly Green on tonight. It's a packed house. It's beautiful. LaShawn McCoy is getting retired or going into the Eagles Hall of Fame as we speak right now. So just the vibe here is just so much better than it has been in the past. But you're right. A quick start certainly helps with that. The Jalen's pass to Saquon was unbelievable. It was a really nice touch on that. Obviously, Saquon made a great catch on that as well. Saquon, quite a bit of a first half himself, but yeah, man. I mean, again, it's crazy how much things have changed with this team in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, you mentioned the vibe, being down there for the pregame show. There has been sort of a nervous energy around the
Yeah.
stadium leading up to games. And, I don't know if it's the last 2 weeks and taking care of business against the Giants and then the Bengals. It just feels like there's a lot more trust now between
Yep.
the fan base and this team where, going into today, they're 7.5 point favorites against a Jaguars team that's really struggling. I feel like a lot of people were confident, like, they're going to take care of business. They're not going to, like I said in the pregame show, they're not going to play with their food. And, they let Jacksonville hang around for a little bit in the second quarter. They took some points off the board. They went for it on that 4th and 2 and didn't get it. They try it for the 2 point conversion, which it looks like they did get, but they still ruled
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Dude,
Jalen
how do
Hurts.
we not have goal line technology yet? Like, it's crazy to me. But anyway,
I
go
don't,
ahead.
yeah, how do you not have like a microchip in the football and you get
It's
over
wild.
and then it is what it is? But the defense has also played incredibly well. They've allowed 31 yards or 30 yards after the two kneel downs by Trevor Lawrence to end the half.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the bigger point is Bryce Huff only played a handful of snaps, didn't get in until 3 minutes to go in
Yeah.
the second quarter. I just, what do you think that's all about? Is that just where they are in
Well,
the rotation? They didn't play a lot of snaps
if they
defensively, but
if they
it's
make it,
interesting that
yeah.
he was third in the rotation.
If they make a trade for an edge rusher, the snaps are there. That's what that means. I mean, Bryce Huff, yeah, to your point, didn't play basically at all. I think he probably played 1 or 2 snaps that whole half. Now I will say I think he got a pressure on the one snap he was in. So take that his ratio is good. But no, I mean with the defense, like it's just wild how good they have gotten, right? I mean, I'll also say too, like Cooper DeJean was outstanding in that half. Cooper DeJean's ability to remain calm. We talked about this so much with Quinyon when he first started playing this year. Obviously, the play against Green Bay where I think it was Christian Watkins down or Watson down the sideline. He keeps his calm. He gets the incompletion on a forced deep pass. Cooper has that same type of chillness about him. I mean, think of some of the spots he's been put in. He got a third down stop today. He got a fourth down stop today, and he got a fourth down stop last week. So just his ability in big moments to tackle. Today he got the pass breakup, obviously. Like he's just been outstanding in those really big moments. The audience here is picking up the Coop chant, so that's been cool. He's got that go for him. But yeah, the defense has been great. I mean, the Jaguars really haven't been close, right? I mean, they already forced 2 turnovers, one on special teams. Obviously, Zach Bond comes away with that interception. But it just feels like the Jaguars have no hope. Like you don't want to jinx it at halftime at 17-0. But like this is leading towards another blowout. This will be the third straight week where the Eagles really take care of business. They have an impressive performance. And look, we can all point to the Jaguars and say they're not that good. Like, guess what? There's not a lot of good teams in this league. The Eagles are going to be playing a lot of teams that are right around the Jaguars. It looks like next week that Dallas could be without Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. So there are going to be winnable games on the schedule, and the Eagles are starting to take advantage of that. Last year, they lost a lot of winnable games out the stretch against bad teams. But in this first half, you see them come out, and they're immediately all over the Jaguars. I said on the pregame show, they couldn't give this team any life, any hope. And that's exactly what they've done. That Jacksonville Jaguars locker room is probably, it's probably not a fun place to be right now. That Eagles locker room is probably really fun. So I'm just very impressed with their ability to come out, make sure the Jaguars know this is not going to be a game today, play clean football. It's been really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, 13 of 16 in the first half, but then you flip
Yeah.
it, Trevor Lawrence is 4 of 10. Jaguars are averaging 1.7 yards per play. They haven't crossed the 50-yard line yet in the first half, and the defense is just playing with a confidence that wasn't there at the beginning of the year, right? Like, I think adding Cooper DeJean and replacing Avonte Maddox with him, I mean, the confidence that he plays, the confidence that Quinyon Mitchell plays, what the secondary has done, I think, this is the best secondary we've seen since 2022 when they looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
With James Bradbury, with CJ Gardner-Johnson, with Darius Slay, kind of all in their prime. We have a question in the chat from Mark Jones who wants to know what's the reception been like for Doug so far. No, a lot of positive vibes today, Elliot. Like we said earlier, there's no nervous energy. Everybody's feeling good.
That's good. Look, I think the best way I can describe Doug's reception so far is it almost doesn't really matter that he's a head coach of the other team. Like, there hasn't been anything up on the Jumbotron. By the way, LaShawn McCoy walking out on the field right now, being introduced for the Hall of Fame. Really cool moment. The Eagles, they always do an awesome job with this stuff, but it looks really, really cool. Doug and Howie did talk pregame. Doug talked to some of the players, but no, it hasn't really been a big kind of reception or rolling out of the red carpet for Doug. We'll see if this in the second half, maybe they put something up on the Jumbotron. I will say, if they're up like 24-30 nothing or whatever, like, then I think at that point you do it, right? I think you give them the you give them the thing. So no, not a ton for Doug.
Yeah, looking ahead to the second half, the Eagles are up 2 possessions. It was a 3-possession game briefly, but Nick Sirianni took the points off the board. I'm curious what your thoughts on is really two decisions, right? The decision to go for it on 4th and 3, which it looks like Jalen Hurts had AJ Brown open and was just kind of behind him or maybe late.
Well, it looked like he had Devontae too. I think Devontae on the other side of the field was open, and just a poor throw to AJ. It was just poorly placed. It was late. Not Jalen's best play. That was one of the only turnover-worthy plays he had in that half, and obviously only had the one last week. So still doing a good job taking care of the ball. But I was fine going forward on 4th down. Stay aggressive. The offense was playing relatively well, and it's worth noting that with how good the defense is playing, Nick really can be more aggressive on these 4th down calls, because if you don't get points there, and they didn't, obviously, and they didn't get it, you have confidence in defense. You had them pinned deep somewhat where the Jaguars got the ball at, I don't know, maybe like the 30, 25, whatever it was. They don't have good field position, and you have confidence the defense can take care of it.
Yeah, I saw a tweet at one point where it was still 10-0 and said, well, it's dangerous. They're letting the Jaguars hang around. I thought, well, if you watch the game at all, they're not really hanging around. I think if they get to 10 points, it would be a surprise, or will need some garbage time possessions to really get to that point. But before we head out, I just want your thoughts on what Saquon Barkley's done in this first half. He had a catch on a beautiful, beautiful pass from Jalen Hurts, and then a backwards hurdle, which is something I've never seen. I saw people say, it was a Madden move. Guess what? If someone did that to you in Madden, you would break your controller and you would storm out of the room. Like that isn't something that anyone would ever program into a video game.
The picture of him jumping back, it's absurd. He's jumping backwards there. I, honest to God, think it is the most impressive thing I've seen a football player do in my time covering the team. Like, obviously, there have been plays that are bigger, like the Philly special. That's like a wow, big play. But just in terms of an individual athletic accomplishment, I've been in a lot of press boxes. I've never heard a press box react, and obviously the crowd as well, like that. Everybody was in shock. It was unbelievable. You know what I was thinking of? Like when David Gettleman drafted Saquon Barkley, he got mocked for saying it's like he's been touched by the hand of God. Like, I don't think he was wrong. Maybe he should have taken him at number 2, but in terms of just like his ability, his physical ability, and just also great guy as well, which I think was probably, David Gettleman talked about the full package. But yeah, that play was outstanding. The catch for the touchdown was outstanding. But the play that I bet Saquon, clearly he'll remember the backwards jump. But that touchdown he got, the second one, think about how much harder it was for him in New York. Like, he runs untouched on 3rd and like 17 or whatever it was, for that easy touchdown. So yeah, I mean, clearly Saquon, I think he's offensive player of the league, offensive player of the year so far at this point. He's been critical for the Eagles, but that play is one that there will be pictures of it up in the NovaCare. We will see it on every highlight reel the rest of the season. I mean, it's just simply unbelievable play.
And the fact that it's in the Kelly green uniform too, like just aesthetically, it just looks so much cooler.
It looks awesome.
And in a week where I've watched a lot of LaShawn McCoy highlights ahead of him making the Eagles Hall of Fame, like he made defenders look silly. He never made a move that just physically
it's absurd,
astounding.
It's absurd play.
It's something that, like I said, I think if you asked any human on the planet to do it, I don't know there's even a handful of guys who could even attempt something like that. But that'll do it for us here at halftime. Eagles lead at 16-0. Hopefully it should be another easy second half. Eliot and James Seltzer will be back right here on our YouTube page as soon as the clock hits 0 to break everything down. So be sure to tune in for that. And that'll do it for us. He's Eliot. I'm Tucker. See you after the game.